Before the day fully wakes up, before alarms, before notifications, before the invisible pull of expectations, there is a moment most people rush past without noticing. A thin slice of time that exists only once each day. The space between opening your eyes and remembering who the world needs you to be. In that moment, life is simple. There is no list yet, no urgency, no pressure to perform. Your breath moves in and out without instruction. The room is still. The future hasn't arrived, and the past hasn't followed you into consciousness yet. There is no clutter here, physical or mental, just presence. And then, almost immediately, the day begins to pile itself back on. Thoughts return. Responsibilities line up. Screens light up. You step out of that quiet and into a home filled with things you barely notice but constantly manage. Objects that need cleaning, organizing, storing, maintaining. Routines that drain more than they give. Possessions that quietly demand your time, your attention, your money, long after the excitement of acquiring them has faded. Minimalism begins the moment you notice that contrast. Not because you want less for the sake of less. Not because you're chasing an aesthetic or a trend. But because you want that quiet back. You want room to breathe inside your home, inside your schedule, inside your own mind. This isn't about empty houses or strict rules or living with nothing. It isn't about deprivation. It's about discernment. About choosing what stays and allowing everything else to fall away without guilt. And when you begin to strip life down to what actually supports you, something surprising happens. You realize how little you truly need. How many things were never adding value, only noise. Minimalist living isn't built on grand gestures. It's built on a small number of simple, intentional items often overlooked, rarely flashy, that make daily life smoother, calmer, and more satisfying. These items don't demand attention. They don't impress strangers. They don't announce themselves. They simply work. Quietly, they shape your days, your habits, your sense of peace. Minimalism doesn't arrive all at once. It doesn't crash into your life and rearrange everything overnight. It unfolds slowly, item by item, decision by decision. It grows through small acts of attention, and very often, it begins with the first things you touch each morning. Clothing is one of the loudest forms of clutter in modern life, not because we wear too much, but because we own too much that doesn't serve us. Clothes that don't fit the body we have now. Clothes for a version of ourselves we no longer are. Clothes that looked good in a store, but never feel right when worn. A minimalist wardrobe isn't about wearing the same thing every day. It isn't about limiting expression. It's about alignment. When your wardrobe is intentional, mornings become quieter. You're no longer negotiating with yourself in front of overflowing drawers. You're not weighed down by indecision, guilt, or self-criticism before the day has even begun. Each piece earns its place. The fabric feels right against your skin. The fit allows you to move easily. The colors work together without effort. Getting dressed becomes automatic, not mindless, but frictionless. And the mental energy you save doesn't disappear. It follows you into your work, your conversations, your decisions. From there, minimalism moves with you as you step outside. A single, dependable bag replaces the collection of totes, backpacks, and purses that never quite feel right. You know exactly what's inside it. Nothing broken, nothing forgotten, nothing carried, just in case. There's a quiet confidence in carrying only what you need, not because you're unprepared, but because you're present. It reflects a deeper shift. You stop preparing for imaginary emergencies and start engaging with the life directly in front of you. Somewhere during the day, a thought arrives that wants to be remembered. In a minimalist life, ideas aren't scattered across apps you forget to open, scraps of paper you lose, or notebooks you abandon halfway through. You keep one place for your thoughts. Just one. A notebook. Its pages hold your plans, your worries, your questions, your observations. Writing becomes a return, not a task. You don't waste energy searching for where you left yourself last time. You pick up where you are. Minimalism doesn't limit creativity. It protects it. As the hours pass, hunger arrives not as chaos, not as an interruption, but as something expected. There's no frantic search through crowded cabinets, no decision paralysis in front of endless options. Your kitchen supports you instead of overwhelming you. Cooking feels calm. Eating feels deliberate. And throughout the day, something subtle but powerful keeps happening. You're less reactive, less rushed, less scattered. Not because life slowed down, but because your environment stopped pulling you in every direction at once. Minimalism doesn't make life empty. It makes it legible. By evening, you notice how much energy you still have, not because you did less, but because you carried less. Fewer decisions, fewer distractions, fewer things asking something from you. And slowly, almost without realizing it, your days begin to feel like they belong to you again. Minimalism isn't about controlling life. It's about removing what blocks it. And it all begins with noticing that first quiet moment in the morning and deciding, gently, to build a life that honors it. In a minimalist kitchen, cooking feels different, not immediately, but subtly. The way silence feels strange at first, and then suddenly comforting. The room doesn't shout for your attention. There aren't endless gadgets stacked in drawers, each one promising convenience, but quietly delivering frustration. No machines you forgot how to use. No tools bought for a version of yourself that never arrived. Instead, there is one good knife. Not flashy, not excessive, just solid, balanced in your hand, familiar in weight. You know how it moves. You trust it. There are a few tools you rely on, not because you settled, but because they've proven themselves. They've earned their place. And because there are fewer of them, there is space, real space to move. You don't bump your elbow. You don't shift things aside just to begin. The counter invites you in. You chop slowly. Not because you're trying to be mindful, but because there's no pressure to rush. You hear the rhythm of the blade against the board. You notice the sound change as vegetables soften. You smell ingredients warming, releasing something deeper than flavor, memory, comfort, anticipation. Cooking becomes grounding. Not because it's fancy, not because it's aesthetic, but because it's intentional. Minimalism teaches you, quietly, that fewer tools often create better experiences. And that lesson doesn't stay in the kitchen. When you leave the house, it follows you. A solid pair of everyday shoes becomes more than something you wear. It becomes a companion, not disposable, not easily replaced. It carries you through long walks, busy afternoons, quiet errands, and days that stretch longer than expected. You stop seeing wear as failure. Instead of constantly replacing what breaks down, you begin to care for what lasts. You clean them. You repair them. You respect them. Minimalism changes your relationship with consumption, not by force, not by rules, but by awareness. You begin to ask different questions. Not, is this new, but is this enough? Not, can I afford it, but will I value it? As afternoon light shifts, your home responds differently when it isn't overcrowded. Light moves freely across the room instead of getting trapped by excess. A single lamp casts warmth instead of harsh brightness. Shadows stretch softly along the walls. You begin to notice textures, the grain of wood, the softness of fabric, the way space itself feels calming. Minimalist homes aren't empty. They're intentional. You sit down with a book you've already read before, not because you ran out of options, but because it still has something to say. You notice lines you missed the first time, meanings that only reveal themselves after life has changed you a little. Minimalism values depth over novelty. You don't rush to consume, you linger. And then there's the digital world, the most crowded space of all. Your phone, once packed with distractions, begins to quiet. Apps disappear, not dramatically, but deliberately. Only what you truly use remains. Notifications stop interrupting every thought, every pause, every moment of boredom that once had something to teach you. Minimalism here is invisible, but powerful. You feel time stretch again. Minutes feel like minutes, not fragments stolen away. In the bathroom, your routine becomes simple. A few products you trust. No clutter on the counter. No half-used bottles filled with hope and disappointment. Care becomes consistent instead of experimental. You stop chasing the next miracle and start honoring what already works. Minimalism removes decision fatigue from even the smallest moments, so your energy is saved for living, not choosing. You glance at the time not anxiously, but calmly. Whether you wear a watch or choose to live without one, your relationship with time shifts. You stop racing the clock. You start respecting it. Time becomes something you move with, not against. Somewhere in your space is a chair that feels right. You don't own many. Just one you return to. It holds your body the way a good minimalist life holds your days, without excess, without strain, without demand. It supports you without asking for anything in return. Cleaning no longer feels like a battle. A small set of tools, used often, keeps everything manageable. You clean as you go. You maintain instead of recover. Minimalism replaces overwhelm with rhythm. Memory, too, becomes more meaningful. Instead of boxes filled with forgotten things, you keep a few objects that matter deeply. They don't clutter your space. They anchor it. Each one has a story, and you know it. As night arrives, your bedroom invites rest instead of distraction. The bed is comfortable. The room is calm. There's nothing competing for your attention. Sleep comes easier when your environment isn't asking you to engage. Minimalism doesn't remove comfort. It removes noise. And over time, something shifts inside you. You spend less, but feel richer. You own less, but value more. Your life begins to feel intentional instead of accidental. Minimalism teaches you that abundance isn't found in accumulation, it's found in alignment. The room quiets again. The day ends simply, and that simplicity is no longer something you chase. It's something you live. If this way of living speaks to you, don't rush to change everything overnight. Start small. One item, one decision, one intentional choice. That's how it begins. If this story resonated with you, like the video, share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more calm, reflective explorations of intentional living. Because sometimes the most powerful life isn't built by adding more, but by finally choosing what truly belongs.